rain's pattering soft on my roof tonight, like whispers from a long-ago storm. And it carries me back to a time when my heart was young and so easily bruised. I'm Rose Tallgrass, 82 now, my hands worn as old leather, my eyes cloudy but still seeing those days clear as a prairie morning. His abuse scarred my teen years, yet I found strength to heal for my kids. That's my story, one I've carried quiet for decades, locked in the deep places where pain lives. Come close, let the warmth of my words hold you, as I share how a girl survived a monster's shadow and learned to love through the hurt. It was 1962, and I was 15, all legs and dreams, living in a small Oklahoma town where the wind smelled of dust and wild sage. Our house was a clapboard shack, paint peeling like old skin, but it was home. Me, Mama, and my little brother Danny, who was 9 and always chasing fireflies. Mama worked at the diner, her apron stained with grease, her smile tired but warm. My daddy had left when I was 5, gone to who knows where, leaving Mama to raise us alone. I'd help with Danny, braid his hair, tell him stories of the Cherokee tales Mama taught us, about the stars, the trickster rabbit, the sacred fire. Then came Earl, Mama's new man, in 1961. He was 35, broad as a barn, with a voice like gravel and eyes that lingered too long. Mama met him at the diner, said he was steady, a mechanic with a paycheck. "He'll take care of us, Rose," she'd say, hopeful, her hands wringing. I wanted to believe her, wanted a father like the ones in books, kind and strong. Earl moved in, his boots heavy on our floors, his cigarette smoke curling like a warning. At first, he was all right. Fixed the leaky sink, gave Danny a toy car. But I saw how he watched me, his gaze sticky, making my skin crawl when I washed dishes or folded laundry. It started small. A brush against my arm when I passed, his hand lingering on my shoulder. "You're growing up pretty, Rose," he'd say, voice low, when Mama was at work. I'd shrink, mumble, "Thanks," and run to my room, heart pounding like a trapped bird. I told myself it was nothing, just a stepfather being friendly. But at 15, you don't know what's normal, do you? You trust grown-ups, even when your gut screams no. By summer, it got worse. Mama worked nights, leaving me and Danny with Earl. He'd sit in the living room, beer can sweating, calling me over. "Help me with this, Rose," he'd say, pointing to nothing. One night, when Danny was asleep, he grabbed my wrist, hard, pulling me close. His breath was sour, his hands rough. "Don't tell your mama," he whispered, and did things a girl shouldn't know. I froze, my voice gone, my body not mine. After, he acted like nothing happened, eating his supper, laughing at the radio. I ran to the bathroom, scrubbed my skin raw, tears mixing with the water, whispering, "Please, God, make it stop." It didn't stop. For months, it was a secret hell. Nights when Mama was gone, Earl's shadow in my doorway. I'd lie awake, clutching my blanket, praying Danny wouldn't hear. I wanted to tell Mama, but fear choked me. What if she didn't believe me? What if Earl hurt her too? I was 15, scared, thinking it was my fault, my skirts too short, my smile too kind. Shame was a weight, heavy as his hands, keeping me silent. Danny noticed, though. "Rose, why you sad?" he'd ask, his brown eyes big. I'd hug him, say, "Just tired, little man." I'd take him to the creek, teach him to skip stones, anything to keep him safe, away from Earl's gaze. School was my escape, books, friends, pretending normal. But teachers saw my quiet, my flinches. "You okay, Rose?" Miss Harper asked once. I nodded, lied. Fine. Who'd believe a girl over a grown man? In 1963, I turned 16, and something snapped. Earl came at me one night, Mama at the diner, Danny sleeping. I pushed him hard, screaming, "No more!" He laughed, but I grabbed a kitchen knife, hands shaking. "Touch me again, and I swear." My voice broke, but he backed off, muttering, "Crazy girl." I didn't sleep, sat up with that knife, heart racing. I knew then I had to get out or I'd break. I told Mama the next week, words spilling like a dam burst. We sat on her bed, Danny at a friend's. "Mama, Earl's hurting me," I whispered, tears hot. Her face crumpled, eyes wide with horror. "Oh, Rose, my baby." She held me sobbing, but then doubt flickered. "Are you sure? He's good to us?" My heart sank. I showed her a bruise on my arm, his fingerprints. She gasped, believed, but said, "What do we do? He pays the bills." I felt betrayed, small, but nodded. "I'll figure it out, Mama." I ran away that spring, 16 and scared, to my Aunt Lila's in Tulsa, 100 miles away. Packed a bag, took Danny's toy car for luck, left a note. "Mama, I love you. I can't stay." Lila welcomed me, no questions, her house smelling of fry bread and safety. I cried in her arms, told her everything. "You're strong, Rose," she said, stroking my hair. Strong? I felt broken, but her words planted a seed. Mama came for me a month later, Earl gone. She'd kicked him out, sold his tools to pay rent. "I failed you, Rose," she wept. I hugged her, forgiving, but the scars stayed. Danny moved in with us at Lila's, his smile my anchor. I worked odd jobs, cleaning, babysitting, finished school, vowing to protect any kids I'd have from such pain. Tell me, dear friends, if someone you trusted hurt you, could you find the courage to run, or would fear keep you silent? Share your heart below. Your stories give me strength to tell mine. By my 20s, I was building a life. Married Tom, a kind carpenter, in 1969. We had 2 kids, Sarah and Ben, my reasons to keep going. But the past? It lingered. A shadow in my dreams, a flinch when Tom raised his hand to wave. I'd wake, sweating, hearing Earl's laugh. "You're safe now," Tom would whisper, holding me. But was I? The scars ran deep, shaping how I loved, how I mothered. The night's quiet now, just the soft creak of my rocking chair and the faint hum of crickets outside, carrying me back to those years when I was piecing myself together, bit by broken bit. I'm Rose Tallgrass, 82, my hands trembling not just from age, but from memories that still sting like nettles. The scars from Earl's abuse at 15 carved deep, shaping me, but it was for my kids, Sarah and Ben, that I found the strength to heal, to stand tall. Let me take you into those years when the pain followed me like a shadow, but love, oh love, grew stronger, like wildflowers pushing through cracked earth. After running to Aunt Lila's in Tulsa in 1963, I was 16, raw and scared, trying to rebuild in a world that felt too big. Lila's house was a haven, fry bread sizzling, her laughter warm as the sun. She never pushed me to talk about Earl, just gave me chores, a bed, and love. "You're home now, Rose," she'd say, her hands kneading dough, her eyes seeing my hurt. Mama and Danny joined us soon after, Mama broken by guilt for not protecting me. "I should have known," she'd whisper, tears falling as we sat on Lila's porch, the air thick with jasmine. I'd hug her, say, "It's over, Mama." But inside, it wasn't. Nightmares came. Earl's heavy steps, his sour breath, and I'd wake, gasping, clutching Danny's toy car, my only piece of home. School in Tulsa was different. Bigger, louder, kids staring at the quiet Cherokee girl with haunted eyes. I kept to myself, studied hard, wanting to prove I was more than what Earl made me feel. Aunt Lila got me a job cleaning houses, my hands scrubbing floors, saving every penny. "For your future," she'd say, slipping me extra fry bread. I'd smile, but my heart was heavy, wondering if I'd ever feel safe again. Danny, 10 now, noticed my silences. "Rose, you okay?" he'd ask, tossing stones in the backyard. I'd ruffle his hair, lie, "Just thinking, little man." But I was thinking of Earl, wondering if he'd hurt others, if Mama's choice to keep him had broken us all. By 1965, I was 18, stronger but guarded. I graduated high school, first in our family, Mama crying at the ceremony, Danny cheering. I worked more, saved for college, dreaming of being a nurse, helping others, fixing what was broken. But the past clung tight. I'd flinch at loud voices, shy from men's touches, even kind ones. Aunt Lila saw it, sat me down one night. "Rose, you can't let him steal your life," she said, her voice firm but soft. "You're Cherokee. Our people endure." Her words sank deep, like seeds in spring soil, and I vowed to try. I met Tom in 1967, at 20, working at a Tulsa diner where I waited tables. He was a carpenter, 25, with gentle hands and a laugh like a warm breeze. He'd come for coffee, leave big tips, and talk about his dog, a mutt named Rusty. "You got a smile like sunshine, Rose," he'd say, and I'd blush, heart fluttering, scared to trust. We dated slow, walks by the river, picnics under oaks. He never pushed, never grabbed, just waited. One night, under stars, I told him about Earl, words spilling like a dam breaking. "He hurt me. Bad," I whispered, tears hot. Tom held my hand, said, "You're safe with me, Rose. Always." His promise was a lifeline, pulling me from the dark. We married in 1969, a small ceremony in Lila's backyard, sage burning, Mama beaming. I was 22, hopeful, but scarred. Tom built us a little house in Tulsa, cedar walls like my old home, smelling of fresh wood. Sarah came in 1971, Ben in 1973, my babies, my reasons to breathe. Holding Sarah's tiny body, her eyes like mine, I swore, "No one will hurt you ever." But motherhood brought fears. Every creak at night was Earl, every bruise on Ben's knee a panic. I'd check their windows, lock doors twice, Tom calming me. "They're safe, Rose," he'd whisper. But my heart raced, remembering my own terror. I started nursing school in 1975 at 28, working nights at the diner to pay for it. "You'll be a healer," Tom said, watching Sarah and Ben while I studied. School was hard, books heavy, hours long, but every bandage I learned to wrap, every pulse I checked, felt like mending myself. I graduated in 1978, got a job at a Tulsa hospital, my scrubs crisp, my heart proud. "Mama's a nurse," Sarah, 7, bragged, drawing me in her crayons. Ben, 5, hugged me saying, "You fix people, Mama." Their love was my armor, but Earl's shadow lingered. I'd jump at raised voices, see his face in strangers, wake from nightmares, Tom holding me tight. Mama died in 1980, heart attack, too young at 52. I cried at her grave, Danny beside me, now 26, a mechanic like Earl but kind. "She loved you, Rose," he said, and I nodded, forgiving her silence, knowing she'd been trapped too. I kept her Cherokee shawl, wore it when I nursed, feeling her strength. Danny visited often, played with my kids, but never spoke of Earl. "He's gone," was all he'd say. Gone where? I didn't care, just prayed he'd never return. By my 30s in 1985, I was 38, a head nurse, respected but guarded. Sarah, 14, and Ben, 12, were my world. School plays, soccer games, their laughter filling our home. But I watched them like a hawk, scared of every stranger. "Mama, why you worry so much?" Sarah asked once, her eyes sharp. I couldn't tell her about Earl, not yet. Too raw, too heavy. Instead, I baked cookies, taught them Cherokee prayers, hoping love would shield them. The hospital was my second home. Beeping monitors, antiseptic smells, patients' hands in mine. I'd comfort the scared, hold the dying, but each broken body reminded me of my own at 15. One night, a teen girl came in, bruised, eyes like mine back then. He hurt me, she whispered. I held her, tears falling, and helped her tell the police. You're brave, I said, wishing I'd been. That moment lit a fire. I started volunteering at a shelter, helping abused girls, telling them, you're enough. Each one was me, healing a piece of that scared teen. Tell me, dear souls, if pain from your past shaped your love, could you share it to protect others? Or would shame keep it locked away? Share your heart below. Your stories help me carry on. In 1990, at 43, I told Sarah and Ben about Earl. Not details, just enough. Someone hurt me when I was young, I said, voice shaking. Sarah, 19, hugged me, saying, You're so strong, Mama. Ben, 17, clenched his fists, angry for me. Their love mended cracks I didn't know were there. Tom listened, proud, saying, You're their hero, Rose. Hero? I was just surviving, for them. The years rolled on, my kids grew, but Earl's ghost haunted quiet moments. I'd pray, sage burning, asking the Creator for peace. It came, slow, through my kids' smiles, my work, my strength. The moonlight's soft tonight, spilling through my window like a quiet promise, and it carries me back to those years when I learned to live with scars that never quite fade. I'm Rose Tallgrass, 82 now, my voice thinner but my heart full, holding the weight of what Earl did to me at 15, and the love I found for my kids, Sarah and Ben, that pulled me through. The pain was a shadow, always there, but love. Oh, love was the light that grew brighter, like stars breaking through a stormy sky. Let me share the rest. How I carried those scars, how I healed, and how my story found a home in others' hearts. By the 1990s, I was in my 40s, a steady nurse in Tulsa, my scrubs worn, but my spirit stronger. Sarah was in college, studying to be a teacher, her smile bright as the wildflowers she loved. Ben was in high school, tall and quiet, fixing cars like his daddy Tom. Our little house smelled of cedar and fresh bread, a safe place I'd built for them, every lock checked twice. But Earl's ghost lingered, nightmares of his heavy steps, his sour breath waking me, sweating, even with Tom's arms around me. You're here, Rose, he'd whisper, his voice a balm. I'd nod, clutch my mother's Cherokee shawl, and pray for peace, for my kids to never know such fear. Work was my refuge, bandaging wounds, holding hands in the ER, listening to patients' fears. I'd see young girls, bruised like I was, and my heart would crack. At the shelter, I volunteered more, teaching teens to sew, to speak, to believe they were enough. You're not what happened to you, I'd tell them, words I wish someone had told me at 15. One girl, Jenny, 16, with eyes like mine, broke down in my arms. My uncle, he's like your stepfather, she whispered. I helped her get to a safe house, testified for her in court, my voice shaking but firm. You're so brave, Miss Rose, she said later. Brave? I was healing myself through her, stitching up old wounds. Sarah and Ben grew up fast. In 1995, Sarah, 24, got married to a kind man, David, a librarian with a gentle laugh. Mama, you taught me love, she said at the wedding, hugging me tight. I cried, seeing her in white, thinking of the girl I was, scared and silent. Ben, 22, moved out, working as a mechanic, but visited Sundays bringing greasy hugs. "You're my hero, Mama," he'd say, and I'd shake my head saying, "Just your mama trying." But their love, it was a mirror, showing me I'd done something right despite the scars. Tom and I grew closer, our love deeper for the battles we'd faced. In 1998, at 51, I got a call from Danny, my brother, now 44. "Rose, they found Earl," he said, voice tight. "Prison for hurting another girl." My stomach churned. Relief, rage, sorrow mixing. "Good," I said, but it didn't erase the past. I told Tom, who held me as I cried, saying, "He can't hurt you now." But he had, and the hurt shaped me, made me fierce for my kids, for every girl I met at the shelter. In 2000, Sarah had my first grandbaby, Lily, a tiny bundle with her mother's eyes. Holding her, I felt time circle back, me at 15, scared, now 63, strong. "No one will touch you, sweet girl," I whispered, rocking her, the scent of baby powder soothing my soul. Ben married in 2002 a nurse named Clara, and their son Jack came in 2004. Grandkids filled my house with laughter, their small hands tugging my shawl, begging, "Grandma Rose, tell us a story." I'd share Cherokee tales, leaving out Earl, but their giggles healed cracks I didn't know were there. The nightmares faded, not gone, but quieter, like a storm passing. I retired from nursing in 2005, at 58, my hands too shaky for IVs, but kept volunteering at the shelter. "You're our rock," the director said, but I felt like clay, molded by pain and love. I started writing my story at Sarah's urging in a journal, pages of Earl's cruelty, my escape, my kid's light. "Mama, this is powerful," she said, reading it. "Share it." I hesitated. Shame still lingered, but her faith pushed me. In 2010, at 63, I spoke at a shelter fundraiser, voice trembling, telling my story to a room of strangers. "I was 15, abused by my stepfather," I said, tears falling. The crowd was silent, then clapped, some crying. "You saved me," a woman said after, hugging me. "I told my truth because of you." That night, I felt lighter, like I'd laid down a stone I'd carried for decades. Ben suggested YouTube in 2015, when I was 68. "Grandma, your stories could help the world," he said, setting up a camera. I laughed, nervous, but recorded my first beloved grandma video, sitting in my rocking chair, sage burning, the air sweet with its smoke. I told of surviving, of loving Sarah and Ben, of healing. Comments came fast. "Rose, you're my strength." "I was abused too. Thank you." Each one was a hug, a reminder my pain had purpose. By 2020, I was 73, health slowing, heart flutters, knees creaking. Sarah and Ben moved closer, their families my joy. Lily, 19, studied social work, inspired by my shelter stories. "For you, Grandma," she said, showing her college letter. Jack, 15, helped with videos calling me famous. Famous? Just a grandma, sharing scars to save others. In 2022, a letter came from Jenny, the girl I'd helped. "Miss Rose, I'm a counselor now, because of you." Enclosed was a Cherokee shawl woven with stars. I wore it, crying, feeling Mama, Lila, my kids. "You're still here," I whispered to the air. "Tell me, kind hearts. If your pain could light someone else's way, would you share it or keep it hidden to protect your peace? Share your story below. Your words weave us together." Now, at 82, I record these tales. Voice cracked but heart full, Lily and Jack filming, sage smoke curling. My channel, beloved Grandma, carries my scars, my strength, to you. Earl's abuse broke me at 15, but Sarah, Ben, my grandkids, and every girl I helped They mended me. I sit here, shawl over my shoulders, the rain singing, knowing pain doesn't win when love endures. If this story stirred your soul, if you've ever risen from hurt to heal others, like this video, share your journey in the comments, and subscribe to Beloved Grandma for more whispers from a heart that survived. Hold your dear ones tight tonight, my friends. Their love is your strength too.